Lavell Edwards, legendary head football coach at BYU. The man has the stadium named after him. Coach, welcome back to the show. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you.
What was your reaction to the news that Jim would officially make the BYU Athletic Hall of Fame and have his jersey retired?
Well, of course, I'm very excited about it, and I knew all along it was in the works. It's just a matter of Jim finishing his degree, and I was very, very pleased when I got word that he had finished it, and it's just a matter now of not a time, and he'll go right into the Hall of Fame, because that was the only thing that held him back, is the requirement of having graduated. And to Jim's credit, at this point in time, the diploma doesn't mean that much in terms of work or whatever he's doing, but the fact that he went about and did it, it's just typical of Jim, the way he does things, and the way, when he makes up his mind that something needs to be done, and he's very good about doing that.
What kind of reception do you think he's going to get October 3rd, Coach?
Oh, I think it'll be great. I think Jim was a very popular player here, and he's just a great leader. He's also very accomplished. He's a great arm, and for a guy that was had some partial vision in one eye, and he could see the field and knew where everybody was. I mean, he could look at he could be rolling out and seeing what the strong safety does, that for the opposing team, and he would know exactly where everybody else was covered and were, and from a defensive standpoint, and he'd just stop and turn around and throw it, and just that uncanny innate feel and ability that he had to know the offense, to throw it, and then of course he was very accurate.
You mentioned, the one eye. He had one bad eye, an incident with a fork as a kid. What would he have done with two eyes, Coach?
It's frightening. I don't know how he could have been better, though, frankly. I don't think that was ever, because he just had that. Like I said, it was almost like an innate sense or a feel, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. A lot of guys can work hard and make themselves get to a certain point, but you got to have something special, something intangible that takes you to that next level. And, and that's what Jim had, and that's what Jim did. And he was just very good. Very good, in fact.
Lavell Edwards, coach of the 1984 National Championship BYU team, coach of the Cougars from 72 through 2000, did remarkable things for the program, and with Jim McMahon as his quarterback. Coach, he broke 75 NCAA records. And the question is, amidst everything that he did that was so great, do you have a favorite moment that you remember from coaching or just being around Jim McMahon?
Oh, I think just trying to I think it was in the Holiday Bowl. I can't remember what year it was.
1980, probably?
Yeah, I think it was, when he threw that ball to Clay Brown. And I remember it was fourth down, and I don't know, we were behind about 20 points, 19 or whatever it was. And it was 4th and 7. I sent the punter in, and Jim stood up and motioned for him to get off the field, get out of there. And anyway, the punter stopped, and he looked at us, and we were motioning him to get in. The clock was running out, and so we called timeout, and Jim came over to the sideline, and in his own inimitable way, he said, "Golly gee, guys," something like that. But he looked right at us, and he said, "You coaches have quit." He said, "We haven't quit." And okay, Jim. So we sent him with him. He went back in and had a play and went on down and scored. And then we got within 13, and I thought, man, we might have a chance. We tried an onside kick, and they got it. And first play they ran, 50 yards for a touchdown, went back up, and then in the last 4 minutes of the game, I think they were up by 19 or 20, and Jim just went to work, and we had a lot of good things happen. An onside kick that we got, and whatever. And with 4 seconds left, he threw the Hail Mary into the end zone that Clay Brown caught, and so he just had that innate feel, if you will. Whether I don't know how better to explain it than that a lot of great athletes have, and that's what separates the great ones from the others that are pretty good.
He became the full-time guy his junior year, split some reps his sophomore year with Mark Wilson. You end up redshirting him. But his freshman year, he's the punter. He punts 55 times. How was Jim McMahon as a punter?
He was quite good, in fact. And we thought, man, that's a waste of, talent to control like he can. And we had, when we had a great run of quarterbacks there, and so we decided to redshirt him a year, and then Mark would have senior year by himself, because I made up my mind I was not going to divide playing time anymore, because we didn't have a very good year that year, even though I think we won the league, but it wasn't great. But anyway, made up my mind then, and to Jim's credit, he stuck around, and he didn't like it down here. He didn't like the place, but typical of him, he was smart, and he knew that was going to be his best bet to get into the NFL. So he hung by his thumbs there for a year, and then he went on and had two great years after that.
Lavell Edwards with us on BYU Sports Nation. Coach, with the way that media has evolved and it's instantaneous with Facebook and Twitter and the internet and email and everything, with how much college football is discussed and prognosticated about, given Jim McMahon's numbers and what he did, do you think if he had a season like he had back then to the equivalent of now, that he would be deserving of a Heisman Trophy selection?
No question, he would be. He would be very, very high up, and I don't know. He was talked a little bit at that time, and and we were like coming out of nowhere. And I don't know. I can't remember where did he finish, second or third or
fifth,
somewhere.
Third and then fifth. His junior and senior years.
Fifth, yeah, and he was obviously better than that, and deserved more national recognition than that, but. We were kind of coming out of nowhere here in the Rockies, and in the conference that we were in at the time, but went on from there. Then guys that, of course, we had a pretty good run of quarterbacks, before Jim played, and so it was I don't know, from about 79 to 84 or somewhere around there, we didn't lose many games, and I think that's about the time Jim played.
An unbelievable run, no doubt, that may never, ever happen again in college football. Coach Edwards, we appreciate the time. Enjoy the day, and we can't wait to see October 3rd celebrating Jim McMahon's jersey retirement.
Well, it's great, and it's a long time coming, and again, I'm just real happy for him and very, very proud of him.
Thanks, Coach.